Hello everyone, welcome to another vlog. So we'll make today's vlog a Q&A. I've got some mails with some questions that I want to address. So the first question I have is from Michelle from Florida. Michelle says that she has her GMAT scheduled for the 30th of September, and she wants to know what should be her strategy with regards to cancelling or accepting the score. She says she's been scoring around the 720 mark in the GMAT preps. So, at which score should she cancel, or above which score should she accept? That's basically the question that Michelle has. For those of you who are not very well versed with the cancellation policy of the GMAT, this is how it works. After you complete the test, you will be shown your score, and then you will get, I think, 2 minutes to decide whether you want to accept the score or cancel the score. If you cancel the score, nobody comes to know what you had scored. Only you know that. And if you forget it, too bad. If you accept it, then of course the score gets reported. Now, a couple of interesting things. In case you accept the score at that point, you can still cancel the score within the next 72 hours by calling up the GMAT helpline. But for that, there's a fee which is $25. And on the other side, if you cancel the scores at that particular time, you can always reinstate the score later, and this can be as late as almost 5 years after you've taken the test, and the fee will be $50. So if you ask me, in case $50 is not a huge amount for you, then when in doubt, simply cancel, because you can always reinstate. But if you accept it, then after 72 hours, you can't cancel it. So when in doubt, cancel. Now coming to Michelle's specific question as to what she should do. So you wrote, Michelle, that your average score is around 720 in the GMAT prep. Then my suggestion is, if you get a score which is in a 30-point range, what I basically mean is 30 points below, because if it's higher, you don't really care. But if it's around, let's say 680 or a 690, then I think you want to accept it. Anything below that, cancel it, because that's not your true score and you should ideally retake. This goes for all of you actually. If your score on the actual GMAT is within 30 points of your average scores in the practice test, then you can accept the score. If it's lower than that, simply cancel it. As I said, even if you cancel it, you can always reinstate it by paying $50, which is not a huge amount to pay, given how much you'll be paying for your B school fees. So that should be your strategy with regards to cancellation of the score. So let's look at another question which has come from Ritvik from India. And Ritvik is also going to be taking his test shortly. And he's asking me to give him some test day tips. Okay. Well, Ritvik, I'll give you 2 or 3 tips. Not the usual ones that you hear or read. What I won't tell you is to not feel stressed or under pressure, because it's absolutely normal to feel that way. Even if I go to take the GMAT, even I'll feel a little stressed. And that's perfectly normal. You see, a lot of the times students tell me, oh, I'm not feeling stressed out at all. And I know that's a problem, because then you're not even accepting, the situation. So what I say is you should absolutely feel stressed out. You should feel a little nervous. But you should also realize that this is exactly how everybody else is also feeling. And what will be the difference between those who get a good score and those who don't will be how you control these feelings. So use these to your advantage, be in control, and be absolutely okay if you're feeling nervous. It's absolutely normal. So that's the first thing. It's normal to feel nervous. If you're not feeling nervous, something is wrong. The second thing, when you take the actual test, especially if you're taking it for the first time, it will look harder than what you were experiencing in your practice test. And not because it's actually harder, but because of, it being the actual test. So the occasion basically tends to weigh you down a little. So it will look a little harder than your practice test, but that's again completely normal. In fact, what you don't want is a situation in which you feel that you're getting very easy questions. I keep telling my students, at any point in the test, if you feel you are doing very well, then you're doing very badly because you are getting easy questions, and then you will get a low score. So ideally, in order to get a good score on the test, you should have felt that I've been stretched. I can't say how I've done. Some questions could have gone either way. and then you will most likely get a good score. At any point you feel it's going very well, it's going very badly, right? So keep this in mind when you're taking the actual test. If you feel it's tough, that's very, very good. Because even if you get tough questions wrong, you will get a good score. So that's the second practical tip that you can, use on your actual test. The third and the final thing, your performance on the actual test will be all about time management. It won't be about knowledge. It won't be about what you've learned in your preparation, because you already know your true score based on what you've been doing in the practice test. So whether you're able to replicate that on test day or not, that depends on how you manage your time. Time management will be at least 50% of your test day performance. And the other 50% I think will be how you manage your temperament, your nerves. So you see, the knowledge part actually goes out of the window, because as I said, you already know how knowledgeable you are about the academic part of the test before you go in for the test. But your performance on actual test day will be a lot about time management and nerve management. Nerve management we'll talk about some other time. As far as time management goes, I have already addressed your time management strategy in an earlier vlog. Please go through it. I speak about the 8-15 rule and how you should, spread out your guessing throughout the test and not guess on questions in a row. If you do end up guessing on questions in a row, then you must guess on alternate questions. So if you have 6 questions left and 6 minutes remaining, then what you don't do is you don't take 1 minute for each question, because you will not be able to get to the answer in a minute at the end of the test. What you want to do is guess on the first question, take 2 minutes for the next question, guess on the next one, take 2 minutes on the next one. So basically you are guessing on alternate questions and taking more time for the questions that you're actually attempting properly. So that should be your guessing strategy. As I said, go through my earlier vlog in which I have addressed your time management strategy. You will get a lot of useful tips over there. So Ritvik, I wish you luck for your test. Let me know how it goes. One last question. So this comes from Lucas from Bruges. Bruges in Belgium, right, Lucas? That's a nice place. So Lucas wants to know what I think of the European business schools vis-a-vis the US business schools. So I'm assuming, Lucas, that you are a prospective applicant. So to give you a short answer, I quite like the European schools. I mean, I like to travel and I like beautiful places. So Europe, I would any day take it as an MBA destination. But on a more serious note, I think one or two major differences would be, the first, of course, is your duration. Most US courses will be 2-year long, and most courses in Europe will be 1 year long. I mean, again, I personally always prefer a 1-year course because of the opportunity cost involved. I think 1 year is sufficient to learn whatever you want to learn at a business school. So, but that's definitely one criteria. If you want to change your function, you want to change your industry, then a 2-year course would be better, because then you get the internship. Also, if you want to work in the US, then definitely you want to pursue an MBA from the US. In fact, your choice of B school destination, as in the country, should be based to a large extent on where you want to work. If you want to work in the US, it makes sense to pursue an MBA even from a slightly lower ranked school in the US compared to a higher ranked school outside of the US. Similarly, if you want to be in the European region, then it makes sense to pursue an MBA from that region rather than go to the US. So that should be one key factor that you should keep in mind. If I talk about global recognition, the top schools in the US would be more popular globally than most European schools. I think 2 schools in the European region which will be as well known would be INSEAD and London Business School. The others I don't think will be at par with the top 10 or top 15 US schools in terms of how well recognized the brand is. The cost would also be a factor, because by virtue of being 2-year long courses, the American MBA will cost you more. So these are some factors to keep in mind, but as I said, the most important factor would be where you want to work, which country you want to work in. If you want to be closer to home in the European region, there are some very, very good schools. You will have to pick up the language depending on which country you're looking at. Could be French, Italian, Spanish, but that will be worth it. Knowing an extra language is always a good idea in today's world. So I hope you found that information useful, Lucas, and I wish you luck with your search for the perfect business school. Great then. I think we'll end the vlog there, and I shall see you guys tomorrow in a new vlog. Have a nice day.